Live. That went actually fairly fast. Hey guys, Professor Bill, Comic Book University, and yeah, I fell asleep. Sorry. That's why I am 39 minutes late into this puppy. Anyway, let's see if we can't try and liven this up a little bit. All right, so I got Thor Ragnarok up on the picture there. You guys may have seen that I just put up the Executioner explained in a minute, and the death of the Executioner for about a good hour long for Spotlight on Story. That's Thor issues number 360, 361, and 362. And what I did there was I just did not a reading. Obviously, I'm not going to just read off the comics. I just gave you enough to make you say, oh, yeah, I definitely got to get this. Again, it's one of the older stories that I'm absolutely in love with. I did a really cool part in there, I thought, at least. It's not like, top-notch video production or anything like that, but whatever. It's just something, there's a part in there where I read a prophecy, and I did a really cool, spooky little thing. I enjoyed it. I had fun doing it. Anyway, I'm trying to get my bag open here. I knew I was going to close it in a silly way. But, oh, yep, it's actually stuck now, isn't it? Let's see if I can ninja knot this thing out. Maybe not from up there. Oh, hey, Dick Fillmore. Great job on Death of Scourge. Thank you, brother. Isaiah Quinn. What's up, brother? How you doing? Okay, so today, as you may or may not know, was Batman Day. So, let's see what I was able to get. First off, I got... You will come out, not. I will destroy you. I'm destroying you right on live video. I crush you. I crush your family. That's right. What is good in life? To crush the bags and see all the plastic, petroleum, death. Okay, anyway. First off, I also hit the dollar store. Not the dollar store, what do you call it? The, blah, 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 blah. Holy crap, what the hell is it called? The Goodwill store. I always like to hit the Goodwill store. It's like a thrift store, and they always got something good in there. They had another lightsaber. My wife's like, do you really need another lightsaber? I said, do you really need to ask that? Psh, women. Anyway, so it was only $2 Canadian. How could I not? Also grabbed a Conan book. So I'm going to be reading this little puppy, and it's fitting that I have this little guy. Oh, that's Conan the Buccaneer. So I imagine he's on the high seas. Also grabbed issue 0 of Dynamite Comics, Red Sonja. Somebody, I can't remember who, somebody asked me, hey, Professor Bill, would you be so kind as to review the, either the Red Sonja or the Conan series that's out now? And I said, I will try. Well, now that I got Red Sonja issue number 0, that answer's kind of been decided for me, hasn't it? Okay, so Batman Day. I went today to a place called Stadium Comics. I have never been to this place before. It's actually not too darn far from my house. Went down there. Isaiah Quinn, happy Batman Day to you. I went down there, and it's this really, really little closet store that's inside of the mall. And I didn't even know there was a mall here. Again, I'm still really new to this area. So I go in there, and yeah, not too bad. Actually, I wanted to go. Dude, I had so much bad stuff happen to me this week. On Wednesday, I expected to get twice the number of comics reviewed and put out, and I was up early, and I'm just reviewing the hell out of comics. I'm like, yeah, I'm doing good. I got 4 comics out. Excuse me. And all of a sudden, what happened? My son goes and hurts his hand. My youngest son goes and hurts his hand. And he's actually like holding his hand like this, like, oh, this sucks. So I had to bring him to the hospital to try and get an x-ray. Fortunately, nothing bad happened. Fortunately, also, we're in Canada, and all that stuff is free. Sorry, guys. We need a health plan in the States. So, anyway, I go to this place today, and same son, same young guy, he gets some kind of a discharge from his left ear. 2 days ago, he scratched his ear up so much. I had his nails clipped, but I guess I need to clip them faster. He scratched his ear on Wednesday. The same day. and he starts bleeding. I'm like, dude, what's up with that? But the doctor, the hospital's like, well, you see some kind of a discharge or whatever, come back, or just go to a local physician. You don't need to come to the hospital, the emergency room for that. I'm like, all right, cool. So those are also free. You just show the health card. So anyway, we so today at about 9:30 or whatever, my wife notices a discharge. I'm like, oh, this is just ridiculous. So yeah, we're stuck doing all that stuff. Dick, thank you. Yes, he's okay. So she leaves. She leaves with him, and I'm staying at home. I'm trying to finish the rendering and uploading of the Scourge, Death of Scourge spotlight and story. And all of a sudden, 10 o'clock rolls around. I'm like, free comic book day, not free comic book day, Batman Day started this one place at 10 o'clock. Crap, it's happening right now. So yeah, I was really late to that. Anyway. Yeah, I'm going to show just the figures first. I found this amazing Superman. Can you guys see? Let me see my XSplit. Can you see this Superman figure? Like, this is amazing. I found this, guys. I've mentioned before, I don't have a Superman figure up here. I got a little bendy, posable one from like way back in the day that I'd found that I love. This little guy here. And I've got a Pez dispenser, and I've got a, what is this? The little thing that I got from when I went to see Batman vs. Superman and cried my eyes off. Literally, this right here, I've got the Batman and the Wonder Woman and the Superman. And these were the best part of the movie, my opinion. Anyway, so I got those, and I don't have a Superman. You might ask, but why, Professor Bill? You love Superman. Yes, I do. The thing is, I've never found a Superman doll, that figure, whatever, that was in really, really, like, it just looked really good, that was within, a price budget. And I saw this, and it didn't have a price on it. I'm like, dude, what you got? He's like, I'll let that go for $20. So hold on. I've got one of the most gorgeous looking Supermen I've ever seen, plus one of the little, I forget his name, one of the little Kryptonian robots that he's got in the Fortress of Solitude, and you're willing to let this puppy go for $20? Psh, yoink. So yeah, that was a steal. And then I started looking around. It's the Icons brand. So then I'm looking around, and I was like, I also see this Firestorm. I see this Firestorm figure. You guys see the beauty of this? Like, it's gunmetal, like it's a shiny metal and all that stuff. So what do you call it? I'm like, Firestorm, are you kidding me? I was like, can I, like, how much is, I see a price of $31.99 on this Canadian. I'm like, what do you got? Same deal? And he looks over to the guy who's usually in the store. The two owners of the store are talking to each other. He's like, I can let that go for $20 also. I'm like, well, alrighty then. And then in the back, I see one last Icon figure. Y'all see this Lex Luthor? With his Doomsday armor, his Apocalypse armor, I should say. Wish I had a better light over here that I could show you guys. Anyway, it's freaking awesome. Yes, I found this guy also. It was $29.99. I think he let it go for for $20 also. But then again, my price looked kind of weird. I think he put that one for the regular $30. Whatever, can't blame him. Anyway, that was a hell of a Batman Day deal. So I got those three guys, and that was from Stadium Comics. And I'm actually going to show you a symbol of Stadium Comics in a minute. So I also got a couple of things here. Oh, crap. Bought this for a couple of bucks. How much was this? $5.99 US and Canadian. Just for my son, my oldest son. He was in there with me. He loves cars. Loves the Cars movies. So, boom, just a whole bunch of Lightning McQueen stuff and whatnot. He absolutely loves these movies. So yeah, once Part 3 comes out on DVD, forget about it. I need to find 2 more toys for him, and then I'll have pretty much the entire collection. I need to find El Camino, that yellow one from the third movie, and also Doc Hudson, the fabulous Hudson Hornet. I can never find him anyplace. I can never find him. Anyway, got an issue number 2 of the Avengers. Got what's this? Frank Cho Skyborn. I don't know what this is. I may review it. Hellbreak from Cullen Bunn. I didn't even realize that was Cullen Bunn on it. They just said up to 5 choices for free. So all right, cool. And then time runs out. A prelude. Like, okay, cool, done. I'll grab it. And then what's this over here? They actually let me have 6 of them. So there's Chip Zdarsky, Howard the Duck. Wow, that's pretty cool. I'll check it out. I'll check them out. And then the guy let me have one more because I just happened to find it in a bin. They were like, yeah, I got there at 2 o'clock, about 5 or 10 minutes till 2 o'clock. They had a cosplayer of Harley Quinn and Batgirl out there. They looked great. They were, I think they worked there because one of them at least was behind the register a lot. And they were just having a lot of fun. They were all smiles. I'm like, this is freaking awesome. This is awesome. You know what I'm saying? What do you call it? So all the Batman stuff, Free Comic Book Day stuff was gone. But I was looking at the graphic novels. I was really thinking, I'm going to go crazy. I'm going to grab a couple graphic novels. But for the most part, just about everything they have, I've got digital anyway, and I didn't want to go crazy. So if I found something really, I actually found a Fall of Olympus, that Avengers Fall of Olympus. Wait, was it Fall of Olympus? Is that what it's called? Assault on Olympus. Sorry, screwed up there. If you guys remember Avengers, Siege on Avengers Mansion, that's a story I'm going to get into. And it's easy to get into that story because there are just so many characters involved in there. The reformation of the Masters of Evil, the death of Hercules, the beating of Hercules, and the beating of Captain America, where his original heater shield got destroyed. Like the only picture he's got of him and Bucky was ripped in half by Mr. Hyde. Just wow. Was it Mr. Hyde or it was what do you call it? Mr. Hyde crushed the shield. I think it was Baron Zemo. Just wow. Absolutely, like what an absolutely amazing story. And then later on, Wasp and Yellowjacket have to defend a dying Hercules against a couple of the other Masters of Evil coming back. Absolutely incredible story. And then later on, Hercules winds up disappearing. And this is where the Assault on Olympus comes in, because it turns out that they found out that he got taken to Olympus. And they're like, what the frick is going on? So, what do you call it? They get all sorts of crazy things happen, and they wind up going to Olympus. And they get into a fight with Zeus and everything. And just one of my absolute favorite stories. I remember reading this when I was a kid, just going, this is, like, Avengers is one of the greatest comics in the world, and almost nobody reads it. I never go, and I don't have to worry about going to the comic book store late to pick up my latest issue of the Avengers, because nobody buys them, except me. So, great stories, guys. I don't know what to tell you, but I think I'm going to read all of those stories in a Spotlight on Story. Anyway, behind one of the Thor comics, I actually found this. So, very happy that I was able to get this. This is the Batman Day and then taped over at Harley Quinn. So there was at least one other Batman one that I didn't get, but I did find this. And some absolute irrelevant. No, made relevance there. If you can see the little crease in the binding there, that pisses me off. Oh, I just want to cry when I see that. I was so mad. So mad when I saw that. It's like, there's a bunch of, like, the binding is actually kind of messed up. Because somebody decided, oh, I'm just going to put this, but, it's like, oh, free? Oh, but, what do you call it? I grabbed 6, and they're not going to let me have 6? Well, I'll just stick this in the back, and I'll come back in a couple minutes, and I'll get it. So I find it, and it's all damaged. Like, whoever did this, you do not belong in a comic book store. You don't belong anywhere near comics. I'm just saying. It's funny, the girl at the thrift store, it's a very recent issue, that Red Sonja issue 0, and I was just like, yeah, and I'm grabbing this also. If you could just ring that up, what do you got, like a 99 cents for $1.27, whatever your standard price of the comics. Oh yeah, can I just scan it? I was like, sorry, I love you, but put your grubby hands away from my comic. She's like, what? I was like, no, seriously, there's no need for you to touch my comic. You know that all the comics are $1.27. And you've got the little scanner there. You can clearly see it's just one comic, so just please scan it over there. There's no reason to manhandle my comic. I'm a collector. Sorry. Don't take offense. I'm just, weird that way. She's like, okay. And it's like, I get comics from there so often, they must go through employees, because I don't always remember the employees there, but I was like, they must go through employees like that, because every single time I buy comics from there, these old comics, I have to explain that every single time. That's not right. I did find an extra copy of this that they gave me for really cheap. Actually, I think they charged me $7.99 for this. It was supposed to be, buy 12 comics, buy 10 comics for $12 if they're under a certain price, whatever. And I think this was out of the price. It didn't have the price on it, so maybe that's where a lot of the money came from. I don't actually know. I think this was, though. So, yeah, I think they did charge me the regular. So, anyways, I've got an extra issue of Peter Parker, the Spectacular Spider-Man, also Chip Zdarsky. And I did find one more incredible comic, and I completely geeked out. A lot of people actually stopped in the store and turned and looked. They thought that something bad happened. Guys, look at what I just added to my collection. That's right, Revel in It. Revel in It. I was like, excuse me, is this some kind of a weird reprint or something like that? It's only $30 Canadian. And they're just like, wait. Oh, no, that's there. And this one guy was going by and he's like, oh, can I see that? I was like, no. He's like, no, I'm not going to open or anything. It's yours. I just want to see it. I was like, it was really weird. Like, some people just don't get it. But apparently he knew the owners, both of them. And the guy was like, that's actually been there for a couple of weeks. This wasn't even a deal. Like, and you can see the Stadium Comics logo on it. It's like, this wasn't even a deal. This was their standard price for whatever reason. Yeah, I wouldn't have bought it if it was more. But I saw it for only $30 and I was like, done. So anyways, the guy was like, yeah, it's actually been there for a couple of weeks now. They didn't have a lot there, guys. It's not a particularly huge comic book store. It's in the mall, But they did have these, and they did have that. So I now have The Death of Jean Grey, again, in my possession. And I am a very, very happy man because of this. So, yeah, I better leave the Lightning McQueen thing out so I don't forget to give it to my boy, my oldest. He was actually really good in that store. He usually, both of my kids, my youngest kid, I can't bring him into the stores anymore. My wife was like, can you just watch them both? I was like, no, I'm in a comic book store. Duh, do you not know the rules? Anyway, my youngest son especially, my oldest used to try, he doesn't do it anymore, but they used to try and sit down on the comic books, which is just, dude, really? You feel the need to sit down on comics? I don't get it. Like you'd have the long boxes there, and they try and sit on them. I'm like, hey, what are you doing? So, yeah, they don't belong in a comic book store. All right, sorry, let's go back to the comics here. I'm, kind of behind. Sorry, guys. Okay, Dick Fillmore. Oswald didn't do it. I'm sorry, I don't know the context of that one. I didn't look at the comments for a while, sorry. John Wright. Hey, what's going on, brother? How you doing? You do a nice job. How are you liking Marvel Generations? When you go back and check out all of the Marvel Generations stories, I did a review for every single one of them. It's funny, I actually gave a good review to Thor, I think better than I should have. Not to say it wasn't good, but it was apparently forgettable. Because when I was in the comic book store, I saw when I went and bought the Miss Marvel, the Miss Marvel's books, that one, I said, oh, what's that? You got, Thor released also? I was like, how come that wasn't in my box? And like, it should have been in your box. I'm like, well, it's not in my box. Like, no, this came out like last week. I was like, oh, yeah, I actually did a review for that. So, excuse me. So if a comic is that forgettable that I can not only buy it, not only read it, but actually do a review for it. I created a thumbnail for it, went and found all the preview pictures for it, free online, added them to it, and made an entire video and uploaded it. You figure I'd have remembered that I read it. So the fact that I'd forgotten about it, yeah, no. Yeah, no. So maybe I should have dropped it a letter grade. I don't know. But it was still enjoyable to read. It's just, most of them, unfortunately, haven't actually been influential. The first one that came out was the Generations Hulks. That one was good, because that one actually had something to do with the modern day. It actually had something good to tell people. Greg Peck wrote it, and it was really good. He said it will have long-lasting consequences, and yeah, it's not going to just be a throwaway comic. Unfortunately, nobody else said that. Nobody else who wrote their books said that. So, unfortunately, the Hulks one with Totally Awesome Hulk and Banner Hulk, they were the only ones that had any kind of consequence whatsoever. It wasn't even a lot, but it was enough. Especially if you read the latest issue of Totally Awesome Hulk, issue number 22 or 23, I forget. But I actually did the review. I didn't put the review up yet, so I'm going to have to throw that out tomorrow. I'll have to throw it out tomorrow. Yes, tomorrow's Sunday. I'm going to have to throw out all the rest of my reviews up tomorrow. And I've got to actually read all of my independent comics. I will be doing an interview with a comic book creator. I don't know how I'm going to do this. He's in Scotland right now, but I'll be doing that, and then boom. My scheduled interview last week with a guy from another local comic book store, that went bust. But anyway, you were asking about Generations. Anyway, yeah, as far as the other ones are concerned, the Hawkeye one was a little bit funny at the very end. It was okay, but none of them were really consequential. And I actually had the angriest review, and I don't do angry reviews. I think that you could probably, I can count them on one hand and still have fingers left over how many actually angry reviews I've done. I did an angry review for a Superman recently also. I think it was Action Comics, or it was Superman, whatever. I think it was Superman, the one where he's going up against Sinestro. Actually, not even just, yeah, whatever. That, and I actually didn't even buy that one. I went to the comic book store and I thumbed through it. I was like, oh, cool. I usually buy all my Superman comics digitally. I didn't buy this one. It was definitely a Superman, because in Action Comics I might have, just to continue a collection. But regardless, yeah, I was really upset at that one. But this, Generations with the Captain Marvels, I was infuriated that they would actually just give us this slop. I was so disappointed. Because, it's a story, it's whatever. If it were a continuing series, I wouldn't have even gotten so mad, because it would have been a regular issue 1, whatever. Okay, this wasn't good, guys. I'm kind of bothered about this, whatever. Low grade, moving on. I will not be reviewing any more of this series. But it was a one-shot, and it's fairly costly. And as it stands, guys, I didn't even mention this, as it stands, I'm talking to people online. I'm talking to people in multiple comic book stores. We've got a lot around here. I just discovered Stadium Comics today. Just today. I didn't know it existed before I saw their video on Facebook. But anyway, what do you call it? I'm like just all over the place here. And there are comic book stores all over America too, apparently, who refuse to even carry the publications. And even the ones who do, they do carry it. They're not doing the lenticular covers. They're not doing all the extra variants and things like that, because it's wasted money. It's like I'm buying all this stuff and the stuff's not selling. As it stands, Secret Empire didn't sell. That, in retrospect, I kind of get, because it didn't end the way that I expected it to end. I don't know how I would have ended it any differently, but when they built up, no, guys, this ending's going to be really good. So did it end yet? Because I didn't see anything really good yet. I saw something that was satisfactory. You know what I'm saying? Good enough to get good grades, in my comic book reviews. But honestly, I didn't see anything that I just, went, dude, this changes the landscape of everything forever. I'm literally just like, oh, so that's how it ends. There are 2 Captain Americas now, a good one and an evil one. Oh boy. And it didn't really blow my mind like I expected it to. If they would have used more from the Ultimate Universe, that would have been pretty badass. That would have been badass to the extreme. I would have like this. Yeah, maybe that's what I would have done. I would have just utilized the Ultimate, the 1610 Ultimates universe more, and had it was that version of Captain America that was actually, that Kubrick used. But nope. To just actually change the memories, change the reality, change the history of Captain America. Sorry. Maybe they'll do something really great with it in the future. But as far as this event was concerned, the more I think about it, the less I'm impressed with it. So, yeah. And that's pretty much how I feel about this. The Miss Marvel one was actually pretty good. I think I actually gave that my Amazeballs pick of the week. Whatever it was, I did like the Miss Marvels one. That was pretty good. You got to see, Kamala Khan, she's just amazing. G. Willow Wilson did what Margaret Stoll was not able to do with the same character. And I hate calling on people's names like that when I'm, saying something bad about their work, but I was just so disappointed. Like, it didn't have to be that bad. Come on. Like, you get to write a story with Captain Marvel, the Kree badass of all badasses, and nope. Whatever, man. Whatever. Anyway, so let's see. Dick Fillmore says, laugh out loud, free healthcare must be nice. You make maple syrup drinking jerk. Holy shit, you maple syrup drinking jerk. That was there the whole time, and I didn't even get to appreciate it. Wow. Nice one, Dick. I try to stay away from too much sugar, says the guy who recently got back into Lucky Charms. I haven't had Lucky Charms in almost 2 decades now. And I just had this craving. And I'm like, I'm not going to introduce my kids to, no, we have Honey Nut Cheerios. When you're going to have cereal, it's Honey Nut Cheerios. And I was good with it for a long time too, but it just got bland after a while. Even the kids don't like the Honey Nut Cheerios anymore. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to grab a small box of Lucky Charms. And I hate giving them the plug. But I was just like, oh God, dear sweet, merciful heaven. I just shoveled it in my mouth. I went and got 2 more big boxes. One of them is gone, by the way. In fact, wife made some chicken and stuff like that. I had to fall asleep. That's why I'm late. Just up all night doing this stuff. And I still have to do something for Nerdarchy. I still have to do something for my Comic Book University Pirates Nerdarchy, Takes Over Nerdarchy. And I got something cool planned for that, but it's going to be a last-minute thing. I hope that Dave's not going to punch me in the face for sending it in so late. But it's worth it if I get it. If I get it in on time and it's just a little late, it's worth it. So hopefully it all works out in the end. What do you call it? But yeah, okay. So there are rumors that the Fantastic Four is returning because Alex Ross released a picture of Sue and Reed in new uniforms that he drew. Also, rumors that Punisher will be released on October 13th. Okay, the October 13th release of the Punisher, I did not see that. Isaiah, if you're right on that, you are freaking awesome. But I do already have written down that thing because Sean s.h.i.e.l.d., the Eye of Agamotto, my personal Eye of Agamotto, is going to be late. He let me know on Twitter. But yes, in fact, he actually sent me the picture. I think I should let it be known that it's there. My Avengers Academy app keeps on showing stuff. So let me open up one of his Twitter messages to me. I actually saw it, and then he sent it to me afterwards. And I'm like, oh, sweet. Come on. Oh, no, I actually just had it. Okay, come on over here. Blah, 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 blah. Anytime you're ready. He sends me so much stuff. I cannot keep up. There it is. What's up? Sue Storm looking good. Yeah, this is actually pretty cool. Let's see if I can, I have to show it on my other, okay, yeah. Let's see, can you guys see that? There, you should be able to see that. That's what it looks like. Anyway, oh, it actually caught up. Okay, so this isn't too far in the past. Anyway, yeah, Alex Ross put that up. It looks good. He did the old, it was on Instagram, he did the old tweet and delete. I love saying that. I think that sometimes when you really want to generate something and you've got a following, that's what you do. Like if I did a tweet and delete, nobody would notice. Nobody would notice. But yeah, Alex Ross says something like that. It's like, whoa. I did a screenshot, and it's a good thing I did. Guys, this is what this guy released. So all of a sudden it's getting a whole, I mean, like, that's how you do a press release. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not a press release, obviously, but that's how you get the word out. That's good marketing right there, you know? So was this just him screwing around and feeling like drawing a picture? Maybe. Did he do something that maybe he shouldn't have? The internet's talking about it, guys. I see articles written about this, and it's like, dude, this isn't news. It's not really news, you know? But I'll tell you what, if this is going to be something that they're going to be doing, like Chip Zdarsky is going to be writing the Marvel 2-in-1 coming up, which means that there's going to be a humorous tinge to it, which could be good. Marvel 2-in-1 was always really good. I loved it. I don't know why they didn't just do the team up, but whatever. They could do team up with Spider-Man again, and they could just do the Marvel 2-in-1 with the Thing. We don't necessarily need the Human Torch in it all the time. But the first issue, when Legacy drops, is supposed to come out and it's supposed to have the Human Torch in it. It's supposed to be part of a storyline, so I guess it's going to be anywhere from 4 to 6 issues. I don't really need to see that much of the Human Torch, and I'm hoping it's not Marvel 2-in-1 if you've just got these two in it. Call it something else. Marvel 2-in-1, you're talking about the Thing, and every week he had a different guest star. You know what I'm saying? That is Marvel 2-in-1. Don't call it Marvel 2-in-1 if that's not really what it is. If it's just, oh, these two heroes always going in. Call it the Junior Fantastic Four. You know what I'm saying? Call it the Fantastic Two. Call it whatever you want. Just don't call it the Thing and Human Torch, for crying out loud. Don't call it Marvel 2-in-1 if that's all you're going to be doing. If it's just going to be a series with these two guys in it. Because I personally don't care. Human Torch was great back in the day. Today, he's not so, dare I say it, hot. Even though, granted, I did mark out when I was able to find the figure. Oh, shoot, I actually have to go back to the store I always get these things from. I found this. I found the Invisible Woman. So I imagine they're going to put out a new thing. I've already got him. But I don't have a Fantastic Four Legends figure, so... Oh, and now I've got Herbie. So, all right. So, Alex Ross would be love. Hope he redoes The Coming of Galactus. That's Dick Fillmore. If they're going to do it in the past, because Galactus is not the Devourer anymore, I don't know if I would necessarily want to see him go back to the Devourer again. I don't know. The end of Ultimates 2 made really good points that. You know, how are they going to go back to something like that? How are they going to go back to Galactus being the Devourer again? Maybe in 20, 30, 40 years, you know, who knows? But for right now, I kind of like the idea that he's able to form, like, you know, a super team with Ego the Living Planet with a body and stuff like that. I'm interested in seeing stuff like that. And, you know, his Galactus actually being a thing for good. We'll see. If honestly, you know, like my mind can be changed like that if I read a comic book and it's like I never thought to do that, or I didn't think this was going to be good, or I didn't know how much I was going to need something like this. So, yeah, I'm down. You know, so yeah, if they write it good, done. I'm good with it. I'm absolutely good with it. You know what? Actually, Dick, they could do a redo of The Coming of Galactus if they turned him evil again. You know, like, not evil. He's a concept. He can't necessarily be evil. So if they did make him the Devourer again instead of the Lifebringer, yeah, they technically could do it all over again. Why not? You know? It's like nobody knew. Nobody knew. Nobody could have known. Okay, so Timo Harry, what's up, brother? Well, I have got to run. Oh, no! So you'll see this in retrospect. My aunt and cousin from out of town are here. We are going out. I was working today, but things eased where my manager let me off a little early this evening. That's good. I will try to catch the live show next time if I can. Awesome, dude. Timmy C, welcome. Burger King here in U.S. has a Lucky Charm milkshake. I gotta try it. Oh, cool. And Timmy C, unless you change your name, you're new. Welcome to the channel. Comic Book University is tuition free. Yeah, Lucky Charm milkshake? Shoot, I can just imagine the amount of sugar in that. Maybe. Oof. Dick Fillmore, does that make me your Darkhold? Oh, yes, you are. You are. Well, if he would have to be the Book of the Vishanti then, though, right? Darkhold and the Book of the Vishanti are polar opposites of each other. I don't count Marvel Comics past post-2006. I know you don't. Moscata Joel, welcome. Looks like another new sub. Nice to meet you, brother. Could be sister. I don't know. I can't tell by the name. Moscata Joel. Probably, whatever. Well, sorry. Listen, comment on some of my reviews or some of the other things I know. The more you comment, the more I'll know who you are and your likes, your dislikes, your taste, all that stuff. So, yeah. Like, I just found out today that Sean Sadrai, my Eye of Agamotto, actually plays sax in the school band, which is, dude, smooth operator, man. Like, wow, is out there playing sax? Dude's going to have ladies just surrounding him. So, I actually just found that out today. Anyway, so let Hickman bring back the Yes, exactly. Dude, your first appearance on the show, and yes, you are dead straight on. Let Hickman bring back, and then we're good. Timmy C, I wrote to you before, Professor. I don't remember it. You may have written to me before, but you didn't write to me a lot. Sorry. Rectify that, and then we're good. But yeah, if Hickman brought back the Fantastic Four, you know that would be awesome. You know that would everybody's going to go out and buy that, and we're just going to go nuts with that. And I've been watching Stadium Comics. Timmy C says I've been watching Stadium Comics YouTube channel for years now. Every Wednesday, those guys are pretty cool. Yeah, I actually talked to them today, and it's so funny. I actually went. I was like, listen, I got a small YouTube channel and whatnot, but I like to interview people, and I really like this store. You know, like you're really small, you don't have a whole lot here, but you guys are really cool. You know what I'm saying? And I would love anytime you guys have some kind of event, I would love to advertise for you guys. And they're like, oh yeah, well we've actually got our own YouTube channel. I was like, oh, where can I find it? And he's like, well, actually, what do you call it? The guy over there is the one who actually, he was the guy who you always see on YouTube. He's the guy who's behind the cash register. He does all of their social media stuff. The other guy that's there, the other owner, he's the one who's usually in the store all the time. So that's how that works. And I was like, oh, interesting. Okay, so he's like, yeah, just go to here and blah, blah, and you'll see me all the time on YouTube. I was like, all right, cool. Yeah, thanks. And I realized they've got, what do you call it, like, what is it, 10,000 or 10 million, whatever. They've got a lot of freaking subs. So I'm like, yeah, you don't need any more, any more publicity. But nonetheless, I'm giving it today. And if I ever see something else cool there and I go there and there's more good stuff, yeah, absolutely. Oh no, the Dick Fillmore, you're leaving. All right, dude. I'll talk to you later. Sorry I was late today. And Stadium is your shop, Muscota Joel. Really? Well, if I see you there one of these days, next time they have a big event, show up and come up and, be like, dude, Professor, what's up? Sharper's World on Brampton, Ontario. Yes. It's funny, my wife is Canadian, and I'm American. So we were driving in there, and my wife's like, okay, so this is technically Brampton. I was like, okay, yeah, because I've heard of Brampton. Maybe I've driven through here, on my own one day. She's like, yeah, check it out. It's pretty cool. I was like, yeah, it is actually a pretty nice looking place. Cool, whatever. And yeah, it's pretty much a straight shot there. And I got there. I'm just like, okay, the GPS says that we're here. What's up? what am I looking at here? And I just see it looks like a strip mall. And then I realize, as we're driving by looking for a parking spot, I see, mall, does that say mall entrance? Holy crap, babe, this is a mall. She's like, oh, wow. I was like, yeah, I don't know how good this place is going to be, but whatever, we're here. So, and it wasn't bad. It wasn't bad at all. So, yeah, for a place inside of a mall, it was actually pretty good. I remember I used to live in New Jersey, in Monmouth County, and Freehold Raceway Mall had a comic book store. I think they still do. Actually, they do. They definitely do. Zap Comics, it's called, Z-A-P-P, because Lewis from the Geek Fortress goes there all the time. And what do you call it? My partner on YouTube, and he was talking about it just recently. He's like, yeah, going to Zap and blah, blah, blah. I was like, oh, yeah, Zap in the Raceway Mall. Yeah, okay. And again, it's small, and I know it's expensive to have a shop inside the mall, so I guess they're making money. Good. Good. I don't know, man. I don't know if I can have a place inside the mall. So their store had to be evacuated the other day because of some kind of a fire or something. Some of the show was filmed outside. Yeah, I actually saw it when I went and looked at it today. I saw that. They were outside. It was just 3 days ago or something like that. They were outside. That was interesting. Like, yeah, let's just do the show outside. Okay, yeah, cool. So, yeah, that was interesting. Nice. Yeah, and I only watched like the first couple of minutes of a couple of their videos. They didn't have anything really explaining anything, just the new stuff that comes into the store, which is cool. If that's I don't know, is that a good format? If that's the case, I'll go to my local comic book store and I'll just do that with them every Wednesday. I'll have to bring one of my kids. I gotta get daycare for this kid. Anyway, so let's see. Joe Fisher, hey, welcome. I think you're new. Big Havoc fan. Loved the Outback X-Men team from the late '80s. Oh yes, that was all good. Back the Siege Perilous days, the Reavers, that incredible. I've got to find a good price for that X-Men cover. I forget what the number of that cover is. Was that 280? I forget. After the Siege Perilous and all that stuff, Wolverine stuck on the cross by the Reavers. That was amazing stuff. I think that was the first time I ever drew a cover of a comic book, and I really liked the way it looked. The way that it looked, and I was living in Florida at the time, and I think I left the picture there. Yeah, we moved out to New Mexico, and I had to leave it there. I expected we were going to come back, and we wound up going back to New Jersey instead after Yeah, there was just a while that my mom was like, we need to move. We need to, like, just go other places and see what else is out there because New Jersey is expensive. And it is. The problem is when you go to other places, I remember we moved to, what was it, to Florida for a while. And we were only there for like 4 months. I started freshman year of high school there, believe it or not. And in Osceola, which is literally right in Orlando. It's in between Orlando and Kissimmee. So yeah, we got to go to Disney World for free a couple of times because we know so many people who work there, and they get like 6 visits total for free per year. So they're just like, oh yeah, your grandson is here. Oh, your son is here. Oh yeah. Go here. Use one of my tickets. Just take this and go to the cat. So that was really cool. Really nice people there. Especially if you're young and cute, because there are a lot of old people there, and they're just like, oh yes, yeah, take free stuff. Yes. So I'm disappointed that I grew up. Anyway, a lot of comic book stores there too. Whole lot of comic book stores. What do you call it? I was going to say something about that, and whatever. Anyway, oh yeah, I remember that my mom wanted to leave there because we both got a job in a Publix food store when we were down there. It's like in Jersey we got ShopRite. Here we've got Fresh Foods in a bunch of different places. And I remember in Ohio when I lived there, we had the IGA and Kroger's. And in Florida you got Publix. So I remember I was down there and I had a job pushing carts and bagging, and my mom had a job in the bakery, and I made more than her. Not because our pay was the exact same, but I made tips because I was young and cute. I was 14, I was young and cute, and yeah, all the old people were like, "Thank you for help me out. Here's $1," and I was like, "Oh, thank you very much." And sometimes I just get loose change. Sometimes somebody would actually give me like $2 or $5, and that was pretty cool. So my mom was pissed. She's like, "You're making more than me. We're moving." So. that was a funny story. That's a funny story from my childhood. Anyway, yes. Also, Joe Fisher, I just put up Bloodstorm. If you're a big fan of, well, that's actually late 80s, but 1998 is actually when Havoc, because you said you're a huge fan of Havoc, so I'm sure you know of Uncanny X-Men 251. Thank you. Appreciate that. So they have Bloodstorm in Mutant X. She made her first appearance in Mutant X, issue number 1. And I just put up Bloodstorm Explained in a Minute because she made a return in X-Men Blue. She's here in the Marvel 616 universe, which is like awesome. So Storm with even more weather control powers and the powers of a vampire, because vampires in the Marvel universe have very limited weather manipulation powers. So, hello. Boom. Yes, the mall is just in front of a grocery store. I noticed that too. Yeah, I think it's actually Ocean's grocery store. I think I saw that when when I watched the video for when they were in the fire. They weren't in the fire, sorry. I was about to burp and I had to spit something out really quick. And I spit out the wrong thing. Anyway, yes, they have Ocean's there. I'm not a huge fan of Ocean's. Nonetheless, yeah, they actually have a smell. When I walked by, they actually had the ocean's smell. Not the smell of the ocean. I grew up on the Jersey Shore. You know what I'm saying? I love the smell of the Atlantic Ocean. I grew up with it. I literally lived like 2 miles away from the shore. We could go to the beach all the time. You know what I'm saying? So, whatever. But, what do you call it? Yeah, so the smell of this store, Oceans, not a huge fan. So I was actually lost looking for the store. I had to go in. I found a security booth. I was like, "Hi, can you help me find the comic book store? It's called Stadium Comics." Yeah, go down to the Urbanware, I think it's called, whatever, and then make a right, and it's going to be on your right. I was like, "All right, cool." And sure enough, it was right there. I don't know how I didn't see it walking by it, but nonetheless. Okay, so they have a second satellite shop. Interesting. Yeah, I'll find that. I don't know if the owners are there or not, but yeah, I'll check that out. I'll ask them about that. Joe Fisher, South Jersey here in the Delaware Memorial Bridge. Oh wow, you really are South Jersey, dude. Then you're actually really close to the guys at Nerdarchy. Go and check out Nerdarchy on YouTube. And guys, since it's called, I love Nerdarchy. They're a huge Dungeons and Dragons website. They're a website also. Yes, they are. And I usually do articles on there. I haven't for a while, but I usually write articles for Marvel and DC stuff over there on I'm their comic book connection. I'm part of the Nerdarchy Network. I'm actually the first member of the Nerdarchy Network. They're trying to branch out more, and I'm getting absorbed. So, what do you call it? Corporate takeover, man. So, what do you call it? They're down there around that area, that Cherry Hill, Delaware Water Gap area. And every time I drive into New Jersey, I actually wind up taking the Delaware Water Gap, which actually isn't near Cherry Hill now that I think about it. It's actually a lot more north. But you get what I'm saying. Still, like you said Delaware River, so right away that just jumps in my mind. But they're down there. And on Monday, at this time, Monday at 8 o'clock until 10 o'clock, we're starting Season 2 of the Marvel Face Rip game, the 1980s Marvel Superheroes Advanced Role-Playing game, where I am judging. I am the game master for the game. We're going to start at Session 0, and we're going to start with all new characters, a couple of new people, a couple of people who are actually on YouTube also, and all from the Dungeons & Dragons communities. So if you're not into role-playing, at least, seriously, just stop by and check out that. But I don't see anybody from the Nerdarchy channel on here right now, so I'm going to give you guys a heads up. I'm thinking that when I do that, all right, I'm going to be judging there, so they're going to be a superhero team. I'm thinking that maybe I will start up a Marvel Superheroes Advanced Role-Playing game here on this channel also. I will pick a couple random people who can devote to being at a certain time, a certain place on the channel, and we will do a live stream of that once per week. And then this way, maybe one day, we'll have this superhero team, and then there'll be that superhero team. And one day, maybe we can have a crossover. Maybe we can have a couple crossovers where the teams wind up, meeting, and of course they've got to battle first. That's prerequisite, and then they could actually work together also in a subsequent mission. So I think that's very superhero-ish, right? Especially Marvel, but. Yeah, so I'm looking forward to doing something like that. So heads up, this is the first time actually announcing that I may do something like this. Okay, Joe actually has that comic. Awesome. Okay, Brevin Campbell. Hey, what's up, brother? Go check out Brevin Campbell 12 on YouTube. He does reviews. He's got the coolest freaking outfit ever. I'm very jealous of his outfit. Actually looks like Superman Reborn. When Superman first came back in the black suit. Looks awesome. What's it called? Timmy C. Right. Stadium Comics mostly just does videos of Wednesday's new comics. And they show all the free comic book day comics. Nice. They sometimes open a pack of new toys that arrive in their shop as a sample. That's cool. Like if you've got this, then yeah, why wouldn't you? You know what? Maybe I should try and do that with my local comic book store also that I go to all the time. These guys give me a deal without knowing me, which is really cool. Stadium Comics was really cool. They pulled that off. They just did that for me. Brevin Campbell, happy Harley Quinn Day. The inaugural Harley Quinn Day, right? Poor Batman. The grocery store didn't look that new, that's for sure. Yeah, you're right. But, so maybe I can do that over there also, because that guy's actually really cool. His name's Carlos. He's actually really cool with the idea of me doing stuff there. I don't have that much equipment. The equipment I do have is all USB, so I'd have to bring my laptop or my computer over there also. It's not worth it until I actually get cameras, like actual separate cameras and things like that. But otherwise, I'm literally recording off of my freaking iPhone, which, why? Why would I do that? That's actually how I started my channel, was off my iPhone. So anyway, I would consider doing stuff like that. And, we've actually been going for 50 minutes now. Okay, so let me get to the actual news. I knew this was going to happen. Okay, Neil Adams. Neil Adams, who's been writing comic books forever. Literally, he's not one of the first. He's nowhere near one of the first, but he's one of the oldest that we've got, who has continuously been writing comics for the past 50 plus years. All right, he's one of the, when you say Batman, Neil Adams should be one of the names that pops up for you. And he just recently said in an article on Comic Book Reader, I think it's called. Anyway, they who recently doesn't like ad block for some reason. I don't know about for some reason, obviously for the reason. But anyway, there are ways around that too. So he's going to go back to writing Deadman. He actually wrote Deadman in Showcase way back in the day. I think he said 251 was where he started or left off, I forget. But they're going to go back and re-explore the origin of Deadman and find out who killed him. So that's pretty cool. And heads up, apparently it's going to involve the League of Shadows. He thinks that maybe they had something to do with his murder. That's pretty cool. That's pretty badass. I'm down for that. AJ Styles. I'm a huge WWE fan, even though I don't watch it anymore because the product sucks as of late. I do still look at the websites that will tell you what's up with this, that, and the other thing. And I do listen to Solid Monster Sounds Off. He does a podcast. I get on iTunes, but you can get it lots of different places. Tomorrow, every Sunday, he puts out something. He just had a really good tribute on Monday, I believe it was, for the death of Bobby the Brain Heenan. That sucks. That sucks, man. The Brain was like the best. But anyway, AJ Styles is going to be writing a story for Boom Comics' 2018 Royal Rumble. Just saw my cat through my glass window, and I just freaked out for a moment. So that's going to be January 28th, 2018. That's really cool. And Jerry the King Lawler is going to be doing some cover art for that. Hello, so he's probably going to do a variant cover. Dude, that is freaking awesome. Dennis Hopeless actually usually does those stories. And I've been reviewing all of those WWE stories, starting with Then, Now, and Forever. And then they did just regular WWE, 1 through, I think, 7, maybe 8. I think it was through 7, though. All these different stories. And they were going over the backstory of, and behind-the-scenes story of Seth Rollins. And then they recently did Dean Ambrose. And now they're going to go into Roman Reigns. And that's why I said, yeah, I'm probably going to stop. I'll thumb through it at the store. I don't know if I'm actually going to review it or not. I'm just not a huge fan of Roman Reigns. So this is once again clearly WWE trying to force feed us this stuff. And it's like, dude, I'm just really not interested. Really not interested. So I will do the best thing a consumer can do. And I will withhold my money. And I will not be purchasing this comic. Just, yeah, no. Sorry. Sorry. You got to redo the Roman Reigns thing. He's really good at what he does, and it's hard to compliment him because I'm just so annoyed at seeing him. But like they keep forcing him on us, like you don't get to tell us who the guy is. You don't. All right. WWE didn't tell us that Stone Cold was the guy. We just knew. They didn't tell us that The Rock was the guy. We knew. The same thing with Hulk Hogan. Loved Hulk Hogan. The same thing with what do you call it? Stu Hart, Bret the Hitman Hart. Same thing with Shawn Michaels. Same thing with The Undertaker, one of my all-time favorites, Same thing. Nobody told us. In fact, even when the WWE didn't really support The Undertaker that much, we still knew that he was awesome. We know what we like. Don't tell us what we like. And the fact that they're trying to tell us what we like, not cool. In fact, Marvel seems to have problems similar to that as of late. I still like it, but yeah. Anyway, not with the Captain Marvel thing. So, let's see. Then I was going to talk about the Eye of Agamotto thing with Alex Ross's Fantastic Four thing, which I already did. Upcoming this coming Wednesday, Mephisto versus Doctor Doom and Doctor Strange. The two doctors are in, and what they're in is a lot of trouble. One of these days, I think it can't really be for Doctor Strange. I think one of these days when I finally get around to doing a Doctor Doom Explained in a Minute, I'm going to have to do a similar spotlight on story for Tragedy and Triumph and Torment, which is one of my all-time favorite graphic novels. That was I think that was the first story that actually made me, I don't know if I cried, but I know I had to reread the ending again, and I had to reread the whole book multiple times because it was just that good. And I picked it up on a whim. I just thought the art looks pretty good, and it was just it's got a permanent place in my heart as one of the greatest stories ever. Last thing I really got to talk about is Gambit, the movie. They're still holding on to this thing. I've talked with Marvel artists before, and every single one of them, they're like, wait, they're still doing the Gambit thing? Yes, Fox is still trying to do the Gambit thing. Channing Tatum is still attached to it. I know a lot of people are saying that's a bad thing. No, I think that's actually a good thing. It's probably the best thing they're going for him, because if they got somebody who, through all this nonsense, multiple directors, multiple stories, multiple scripts, multiple everything, and they're still pushing for, and Channing Tatum is still pushing to have this story be told, that means that they've got somebody not quite equivalent to Ryan Reynolds on Deadpool, but close enough. Close enough. So if he's that much in love with the idea of doing the story, he's got some faith in his own ability to pull it off. That says something. So I'm down. I'm totally down with that. Anyway, right now the current rumors that they're planning on having Richter in the story also for this movie, Danny Moonstar, Multiple Man, and Marrow. Also a blue X-Men regular, which could be Beast, could be Nightcrawler. I'm assuming, because those two would destroy Gambit as far as agility feats are concerned, right? I'm assuming it's going to be Mystique. I could see Jennifer Lawrence saying that she will reprise her role if she gets to play with Channing Tatum. I could see her doing that. Or just get somebody who actually wants to play Mystique. You know. Yeah, I'm talking about you, X-Men Apocalypse. I'm not a huge fan. Yeah, Brevin Campbell is like, damn, Gambit's still happening? Apparently. I don't know if it's going to be any good. I know that the Dark Phoenix saga that they're planning on doing, it's not even going to be a saga. It's going to be a movie. It's going to be a movie. Like I said, I just got my Death of Jean Grey over here, which was part of the Phoenix saga, the Dark Phoenix saga, like a saga. And you're talking about making a damn movie out of it? I'm sorry, X-Men 3, anyone? Like, come on. Like, this does not deserve a movie. What this deserves is a miniseries or an actual, like, a season on TV. Something. Just, that's what, like, do it on Netflix. Do it on Netflix. Let's be realistic. If you know that if Fox were to say, Netflix, we want to do something with the Jean Grey and the X-Men properties, Netflix wouldn't even hear the rest of what they got to say. They would say yes. Because by the end of 2018 and the beginning of 2019, Marvel and Disney are pulling all of their stuff, all of their superhero, all of their everything away from Netflix. They're going to do their own Disney Channel version of Netflix, which will be good. I don't know if I'm going to want to pay $10 just for that. At the same time, what kind of stupidity did I just spew? They're going to have all of the Netflix characters on there. They're going to have them, on here now. So Daredevil and the Punisher and all them are going to be over there now. So yeah, of course I'm going to get it. What the hell was I thinking? Anyway, blah blah blah, and of course Warner Brothers is going to be doing the same thing with their DC products. They're going to be pulling all their movies and everything and doing their own streaming service. Amazon has, or is it Hulu? I forget. Hulu. Hulu has The Tick. They're also going to be doing The Runaways. What's funny is ABC, which is also owned by Disney, has Freeform. First off, they've already got on regular ABC the Agents of S.h.i.e.L.D. and Agent Carter, if they ever bring her back again. And they're going to be doing on Freeform Cloak and Dagger, which is, whew, it's also like, I think that's my #1 video that I did, Cloak and Dagger, explained in a minute. But wow, dude, they've got a lot. They got a lot going on in these different worlds. So Netflix actually bought Mark Millar's Millarverse, so Millar World. They actually bought that because they need fresh superheroes that they can do. So anything superhero they can get, they need to stay on top of things. So they're going to be doing whatever. So if Fox said, hey, we're planning on doing something and we want to do like Dark Phoenix, a whole saga, Phoenix and then the Dark Phoenix saga, Netflix would say yes. And they'd give them a deal. They'd give them whatever they wanted. So I don't know why they don't just think to do something like that instead. It does not deserve a freaking movie. It's a saga. A saga. Okay? Not a movie. Just, you'd have to make a 14-hour movie. Maybe not that long. But the idea is, yeah. So, of course it's going to go bust. Of course, there's no doubt in my mind that this is going to go belly up. This is, I don't know if it's going to be as, like, fan-four-stick bad, but it's going to be in that realm. There's no doubt in my mind. X-Men Apocalypse, when we saw what Apocalypse looked like, we were like, yeah, this probably isn't going to be so good. And the scenes with Magneto were good. There was some redeeming qualities of it, but it wasn't that great. It was like, okay, yeah, cool, forgettable, And that's exactly what this is going to be, even worse than that, in my opinion. This is going to be something where people are going to jump to go and see it because it's the X-Men, and anybody who does see it is going to be infuriated that they saw this heap of garbage. This is not going to be a divisive thing like the first couple of weeks, the first month or so of Batman vs. Superman. No. This is going to be something where people are actually going to be infuriated and insulted. That's my prediction. I said it here. All that said, what is this? You're thinking this will be super expensive. Yeah. Yeah. I think it's going to be expensive for Fox. I think they're going to be paying for it out the wazoo. And that's the thing. That's why this kind of goes back to the Alex Ross thing. I don't know that Alex Ross was doing anything more than just doing a picture and just like, hey, check it out. This is what I would like to do. And nope, let's just generate some buzz and see if people still want to see the Fantastic Four, specifically Sue and Reed. Yeah, we would. But at the same time, if they're not going to, and I don't even want them to get the like the Spider-Man deal that they got with Sony. I don't want them to have that partial control thing. All right, I don't want them welcome. I don't want Reed and Sue and the whole Fantastic Four crew welcomed over like that. No. That would be something they could do with the X-Men. Work with Fox with the X-Men, the same deal they got with Sony with Spider-Man. But as far as the Fantastic Four is concerned, I personally will not be happy right now, knowing what I know, until Marvel actually completely owns, like Fox sells the rights to the Fantastic Four and all the properties involved there back to Marvel. I will not be happy with, and I don't think that Marvel should ever even consider doing a workaround with those guys. You want to do a work, if Marvel wants to do a deal today with the X-Men, do it. Do a deal with them. Do the joint property thing, like like they're doing with Spider-Man. Do that. But the Fantastic Four, absolutely not. It's time for Fox to hang up and just realize that they've screwed the pooch way too much on this. The dog is pregnant with an ugly bastard child. It's time to just let it go. And again, don't give it to them. Sell it to them. Make Marvel pay for it, dude. Charge a couple billion. Why not? Disney can afford it. You know what I'm saying? Sell the property rights back to Marvel. Make it hurt financially. And then let them actually do the Fantastic Four and Doctor Doom the right way. That's just my opinion on that. Sorry, I'm talking about the streaming stuff from earlier. Yeah. No, it's all good. All of it, that's what I'm saying, all of that's going to be expensive. The way I look at it is, the streaming services will absolutely be expensive. I'm over an hour now. Don't like to do that. All of that streaming stuff will be expensive. That's just the way of things right now. Okay, Joe Fisher. Didn't watch X-Men Apocalypse movie. Tell my brother gave it to me for Christmas. I knew Singer was going to screw Havoc like they did with Cyclops in the third movie. Yeah. Oh, you knew that they were going to give him essentially an off-camera death? Absolutely ridiculous. Am I right or am I wrong? Like, the character was done so well. He was done so well. And what was that, the reboot called? The X-Men reboot? I can't remember what it was called. But anyway, he was done so well there, Boom. And they just, screw, somebody told you? Oh, somebody told you in advance. Okay. Yeah, I don't get it. Literally, Fox is hit or miss with the X-Men, all right? They're going to have their Wolverine movies. Logan was an exception. It was a clear exception. It wasn't nearly as good as they're making it out to be. I think this is more like a Heath Ledger thing, The Dark Knight was good. It was good. But if Heath Ledger didn't die before that movie came out, I'm positive that nobody would be freaking out over his Joker the way that they did. He was really good. Was he as good as the Jack Napier version, the Jack Nicholson version? Well, was he that good? Maybe in some regards. The makeup looked better. The character development was better. Absolutely. Was his acting on par? Yeah, it was. I liked the whole lip thing. The tongue thing. He looked like a lizard all the time. Let me tell you something. Like, that was great. Let me tell you how I got the scar. He was really, really good. Was he as good as they were trying to indicate? No. I don't think it was that damn good. It's not supposed to be an insult on Heath. It's just the idea that, when somebody dies suddenly, like, I can see people going back and looking at that one Night movie that he made. Oh, that was genius. It wasn't called First Night, I don't think. But anyway, I can see him going back and looking at all of his movies. Oh, he was just such a genius. No, he wasn't. He was a good-looking guy who was a pretty decent actor. He was a really good actor, you know what I'm saying? But he was more than decent. But he wasn't freaking, oh my God level. Like, come on. So I think that's a pretty similar deal in this regard. Just yeah, when people die, unfortunately, and it sucks, all of a sudden, oh, they were the great. It's like there's a bandwagon that everybody's got to jump on, and it goes through every single city, every single town, every single village. Something that something told me, oops, oh, Knight's Tale. Thank you, Joe Fisher. Yes, Knight's Tale. I liked. Look, it was a good movie. Again, it was a good movie. I liked it. They're doing the whole acapella "We Will Rock You." That was good. There were a bunch, and the whole the joust of the javelin is coming right towards his face, and he doesn't blink. All sorts of stuff like that was actually really cool. It wasn't freaking Oscar worthy though. Like man. Anyway, yeah, there's like no delay tonight. That's awesome. I hope it's the same way when I do my interview tomorrow. Guys, every Monday night I try to put up an interview with a local, not a local, excuse me, sometimes they're local, but a comic book artist or comic book writer who is not well known, or specifically someone trying to push a local comic book or an independent. That's the word I'm looking for, an independent comic book. That's what I try to do. I've been just talked to Bob Sally recently of the Scavengers. That was just 2 weeks ago. He's still in the stretch goals currently of his Kickstarter, so it's already fully funded. Excuse me, I believe that the first stretch goal already passed, which is cool because I dipped into that one also. I've done a whole bunch of interviews. John Miller, he's got his comic coming out. The Kickstarter ended, and he's fully funded, and then some also. He's putting out his comic also, a couple of comics actually. And I just a whole bunch. I try to talk to as many of these guys as I possibly can. And I like being that guy who tries to give, like, I don't get that many views off it, whatever, but it's good for them. They got an interview up, they can put on their social media accounts and things like that. You guys can become aware of, newer comics, because it's not just all about Marvel and DC. It's not even just about Image and IDW and Dark Horse. Yeah, they're still around. It's about a lot more than that. And I love seeing the smaller comic book creators coming out and trying to create something new and push something else out. So every Mondays I do reviews of the smaller comic book companies, and I will also do I will also try and put out an interview every single Monday if possible with an independent comic book creator, just because I don't think anybody else does. Maybe somebody else out there does, I don't know, but I'm doing it now, so that at least some of these people actually have, because I say that because there's some guys out there who actually have fairly successful independent comic book publishers out there, and yet I call them up and like, hey, listen, I'd like to do an interview, and they jump on it right away. Yes, please. Oh my God, that would be great. What do you need? And they're sending me free digital copies of their comics. Check this out, review it, whatever. Just and when can we do the interview? And just boom, like they're in love with it. I've actually got a lineup of people ready to do that, which is good for me, really good for them, but it's sad that there's not that many outlets for that. Like, there are a lot of much bigger, that. There's so many more bigger channels out there than me, and it would just be nice if they could help out that way. And I'm not disparaging on them at all. Maybe they've tried, and it just didn't work out for them. I don't know. But, as much work as goes into it, I feel really good being able to do that for these guys, because you never know. Some of these might be the next Netflix series that you see. Some of these might be the next, big comic that you see on the shelves. Some of these might be the next big movie that you see being made in this craze to get as much comic book content into films as possible. The next TV series. You never know. So there's that. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna call this a overtime. I'm big time OT right now. Guys, thanks for showing up. Let me just get this thing ready to one button end it. But seriously, guys, thank you so much for showing up today. I'm sorry I didn't have more. Like I said, I woke up and I looked. I was like, hey, babe, I was supposed to have a comic book podcast 10 minutes ago. She's like, oh, yeah, sorry. Ugh, it's a good thing she made dinner. That is so mean to say. Anyway. Love my wife. All right, guys. That's it for me. I'm going to call this a wrap. What else is coming up? Yeah, tomorrow I'm just going to try and finish as many of the comic books as possible. I believe I'll be doing another, I'll probably be doing, I don't know who I'm going to do for my next Explained in a Minute on Tuesday. Every Tuesday and Saturday I put up an Explained in a Minute. The Tuesday one is just something I put out and just boom. That's usually the only thing I'll put out. That's my easiest day because I've got to prepare for Wednesday, all the new comic books coming out again. I got to find all the previews and find all the pages and get as much information as I can and saved work and make thumbnails and everything off of covers if I can find them, so that then when Wednesday comes, I could just boom, review the comics, make the videos, and then just I've already got all the material necessary to edit and upload the videos. Edit, render, and upload the videos. It's a lot of work. Anyway, so Tuesday's my easy day. I usually just put out one video. It's explained in a minute, and I won't do a follow-up story on it. It'll just be the explained in a minute. And on Saturday, I do an explained in a minute, and I will typically do a spotlight and story based on that character. So, also, I wanted to put out a Batman story today. Should I do that now? Yeah, I'll probably put out a Batman story really quick. It shouldn't take that long. I'll probably put it up tomorrow. I'll probably post it tomorrow. But whatever, we'll see. Anyway, yes, so I think that this Tuesday we'll probably do Loki because I don't feel the need to really do a story. I wouldn't mind doing, Junior Loki. I don't know. Maybe I'll just do Heimdall. You know what? Maybe I'll just do Heimdall because he doesn't really have that many stories out. Okay, maybe I'll do Heimdall, and then maybe next Saturday I'll consider doing Valkyrie because she actually has one really cool story from the Defenders that I was a kid when I saw that, and I was shocked. I was shocked at how good this particular story was. Seeing an ability that she has. Some of you guys who are old school fans of the Defenders, you know what I'm talking about. And no, not Defenders with the latest Netflix Defenders. No, the original team of the Defenders. So anyway, that's what my schedule is right now. What I'm thinking about doing there, and yeah. So. What do we got here? You actually YouTubed about the Superman comics that you didn't care for. The art was great, but you didn't care for the writing. Yes, exactly. Well, you looking at that stuff in the past? But yeah, that was the Superman. I think that was issue number 30 and 31, if I'm remembering correctly, with Sinestro. The one with Sinestro wasn't that bad, but the one with Parallax was just horrible, like really relegated to a total punk. But there's that. Anyway, guys, yeah, I'm going to call that a wrap. An hour and 11 minutes. All right, guys. Professor Bell, Comic Book University. Seriously, guys, thank you so much for showing up. And class dismissed.